Everyone loves an unexpected plot twist, but your education shouldn't be one of them. And nobody understands that better than Southern New Hampshire University. SNHU's online degree programs provide the flexibility you need, backed by support you can count on. With over 200 affordable options in psychology, criminal justice, business, and more, SNHU is built to fit your life and your budget. Visit snhu.edu/lastpodcast to learn more. That's snhu.edu/lastpodcast. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Man, just reading all this fucking hullabaloo. Manhattan Project this, Robert Oppenheimer that. You know, I kept thinking, like, if this was the Queen's project, that'd be nice.
What do you mean?
Because they would just be trying
What's
to make
the Queen's project?
you mean
like
ultimate non-greasy Zeppeli.
You want
the idea of like a Zeppeli that has the powder chug on it, sure, but it doesn't always go up into your beard or your mouth.
Wait,
and
you talking about the British royalty, the Queen?
Nah, he's talking about like Lafrac City.
No, my town.
Yeah,
you're about Queens.
Yeah,
Woodhaven.
Yeah, Lafrac.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ozone
I
Park.
see what you're saying. So you're making, so this is a pun.
I am just saying, no, I don't know if it's a pun. I
It
actually
is
don't know.
the Manhattan Project, but you want to call it the Queen's Project, and then you're going to talk about how Queens people are fat.
I think we're Italian American, and then Haitian American. I mean, it's a real melting pot.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's just the idea of going to a Zeppelin.
Well,
you know,
it's
the
very-
idea of
it's
getting. Have you ever had a Zeppeli? A good Zeppeli?
Never.
Yeah, of course.
You
have, Marcus.
You've
definitely
never
have.
had a
Is it
Zeppeli.
You
like
have.
Is
Yes,
it a
you have.
funnel cake? Is it just a funnel cake by a different name?
No, it's a Zeppeli.
You've had. I'm sure you've had it. You're
No.
a sweet. You got a sweet tooth.
Have you ever had sausages and peppers for like a proper stand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like a San Gennaro's? Did you ever remember
Are
the
you
San
hungry?
Gennaro's festival? I'm starving.
What's happening?
I'm
Yeah, I
starving.
remember San Gennaro's Festival. I've been. Yeah.
Yeah, Queens,
Let's
we used
hop
to
right
do
into
that. Every fucking week, we used to go. We used to have a bouncy castle for all the fat men to go stare and watch the kids. They'd smoke cigars and then be like, don't break your fucking leg. And that's all they
Right.
do. That was the...
Wrap it up.
you
What
want
is
to
it
wrap
with the Manhattan Project?
It's the Queen's Project.
Welcome to the last podcast on the left, everyone. Ben hanging out with Marcus
I'm
and
sitting
and
here. All I
hungry,
do is
Henry.
read. All I do is read.
Hungry Henry.
I'm starving.
That's all right. Not a problem. Okay, we are on to part 4 of the Manhattan Project.
Don't worry. This one's just as long as the last three.
And if it was the Queen's Project, I mean, yeah.
It was a...
All
I
right.
just was...
I just thought you were talking about the Queen.
I just
All right,
needed
here
to
we go.
center my thoughts on a single bit.
Here we go. We've got it.
So when we last left the Manhattan Project, the espionage wing had successfully captured every member of the German team that had failed to produce an atomic bomb for the Nazis.
The Pokemensch.
Oh,
These men were the infamous Uranium Club, and American forces had been successful in keeping them all out of Soviet hands.
Good work, boy.
nice job.
But when it comes to the science wing of the Manhattan Project, the main show, we've got to turn the hands on our World War II clock back about 6 months before the official defeat of the Nazis.
You're talking
Okay.
about a clock that reflects years instead of the daily time, though.
Well,
So you
months.
mean more like, I do think a calendar, it's
A
like we'll set the
calendar.
calendar
Set-
pages
get
back.
in the
I want to make sure I'm sandbagging the show this week
Yeah,
to make
good.
sure we really
Yeah.
get to the center of our analogies.
Turn
Right.
the pages back on the calendar
Well, now-
6 months.
You'll really understand how difficult it is to sandbag a whole show.
Well, we don't only have to turn back the calendar, we got to leave Europe altogether.
Okay.
And refocus our series on Los Alamos in New Mexico, where the bomb was being built, and the Pacific theater of World War II, where the path for the bomb was being paved, so to speak. Now, if you'll remember, the Manhattan Project had 2 sites producing fuel for 2 different types of atomic bombs, because General Leslie Groves had gone with a scattershot approach to make sure we hit our target of developing a bomb before the Nazis did.
Or maybe it was because he knew, according to some sources I have collected, that he knew
Yeah.
that the trigger bomb would never work and they had to find a new way to fake a bomb. Work all the way up to a fake testing site in order to
Right.
fake the bombings at Hiroshima and Nagasaki because it's so much easier to fake a giant international incident of war that changes the face of the planet and the history than to just do it.
Big if true. Big if
I
true.
read a book that I'm deeply triggered by.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Well, out of the site at Oak Ridge in Tennessee, you had uranium. The stuff enriched there had taken a long road from the uranium mines of the Belgian Congo to Nazi Germany.
And was it like a road trip? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was a road trip, a dog licked some peanut butter off of somebody's genitals on the way.
Whoa,
it was really fun.
What kind of road trips have you been on? My goodness gracious. I was thinking more a skinny guy had sex with a larger lady and never went
I remember, and we're like, they won't be together. That's an odd couple. They'd never choose. But sometimes they do.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Well, this is the uranium that Boris Pash had stolen from the Soviets immediately after Germany's surrender. And that uranium would be used in the Little Boy bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
It's kind of crazy that I'm both little boy and fat man.
Isn't that nice? That's why you're an actor.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm the Thin Man. Which is the prototype bomb. What's Ben?
Oh,
I'm just the plane. Yes, easy.
Ben 29.
Ben, a.k.a. Enola Gay. That's you.
Nola Gay?
That was the name of the plane.
All right. Only during Mardi Gras.
Well, Hanford site in Washington State, though, that was producing plutonium. Straight up American stuff that would be used in a bomb called Fat Man that would annihilate the city of Nagasaki.
Man, making of the atomic bomb, I forgot just how fucking huge the Hanford site was and what they did. They built it's like it's the size of it inside like in the Empire State Building, but it's on its side, and it's a uranium / plutonium enriching factory. It was insane.
I have no problem with what the bomb did, killing all those people. Okay, but let's get correct here. It's a person of weight, a person pre-gout, a person who has diabetes.
Well, the stuff from Hanford site, that would also be the stuff used in the very first nuclear explosion in history, the Trinity test. Now, by March of 1944, both sites had produced enough nuclear material for 3 bombs, 2 to drop and 1 to test.
Just 1 to lick. That's my bomb.
The scientists at Los Alamos had also produced 2 mechanisms for detonating the different materials, the gun method and the implosion method, both of which are far too complicated for us to explain.
Here, I'll try.
Okay.
The gun method's all about slapping shit together.
Okay.
It's slapping, like, I sometimes like, I'll have 1 piece of roast beef, and I'm like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
And I put another slice on there, right? Because I like to just eat a free hand.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't spend time making sandwiches.
Sure,
Right,
absolutely.
right.
Technically, that's what bodybuilders do.
That look at me. All I'm doing is building my body.
Absolutely.
And that's how you do. You slap them together,
Yeah.
right? You shoot one bead of uranium at another one, and it makes a boom boom, right?
Okay.
And the other one is a circle of explosions around a piece of whatever it is, the built up plutonium, whatever it is, and
Uranium.
in order to.
Uranium.
Oh, man, already. We shouldn't be complex. I shouldn't be trying to
No,
do
you
this.
got it. You got
But
it.
it
It's 3
explodes.
sentences or
It
so.
explodes in a
Around.
circle in a perfect dodecahedron,
Right.
which is also the symbolic actual entity of the 3D version of the universe, which is why when J. Robert Oppenheimer blew up the second bomb that used the implosion technique, that's what ripped open the fucking veil that allowed the aliens to come through and look at us. Because it was a symbolic gesture. So Aleister Crowley gets in there as well.
Okay, well,
I
very
see.
powerful.
Well, you are correct in that it was a plutonium bomb, now that I'm thinking about it. The implosion method was the plutonium method.
There
However,
you go.
the second bomb dropped was a uranium bomb that was used with the trigger method. So therefore, your argument is null and void, sir.
Well, isn't that exciting?
trying to understand the
You're doing great. It's kind of like a species reveal for the aliens as well.
But the explosions
Isn't that
around the
nice?
bomb create it squishes the material, then it blows up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that.
Perfect. Nailed it.
But incredibly, the gamble of General Groves, the scattershot gamble, it paid off double. As it turned out, both plutonium and uranium were viable for weaponization.
It's like they want us to kill the Japanese.
It was like they wanted us to kill the Nazis, but then they finished up too quick. And I'm sorry to my wife for that as well.
Yeah. Additionally, the gun method for detonation that used uranium was almost guaranteed to work to the point where they felt like testing it was a waste of precious uranium-235.
And if you're the author that wrote an entire book trying to debunk the fact that there was a bombing at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You just have to understand they did test it to see if it could work. It was already there.
You're fighting with shadows.
They already knew.
You're fighting with shadows. No one knew that book existed.
I'm so
I don't
triggered.
think that author is still alive.
I don't know.
However, the implosion method using plutonium, that was far more complicated, and plutonium was easier to produce. So a full-scale test was planned to see if the Manhattan Project could go 2 for 2.
Oh, wow.
Now, the name chosen for the test, Trinity, that was a deliberate choice made by Robert Oppenheimer.
So nerdy.
It was very nerdy. It was inspired by a poem about death by World War I poet John Donne. Beautiful writer, by the way. But this poem contemplated the idea that while dying leads to death, it might also lead to resurrection. This was tied to the false hope that Manhattan Project scientists like Niels Bohr held onto in order to justify developing an atomic weapon, reasoning that nuclear weapons were so destructive that they could end all wars. Unfortunately, Niels Bohr had not been familiar with the concept of a proxy war.
I was trying to say that we should name it Gunther because that's my wife's name, but she's a fucking bitch.
Your wife's name is Gunther? Well, that's a weird one.
Yeah, she's a masculine wife.
I understand why you spend so much time working in science.
Now, before the bomb was even tested, B-29 bombers were already training themselves to drop these massive 7-ton weapons on specific targets.
What do you got to train? You drop the fucking thing.
Well, you gotta
Isn't it mostly gravity that does the work in
a
this
lot
case?
goes into it.
I really want to send you because I truly
Hit the button, drop the thing.
I was gonna say there was a part of me that was just like truly like, oh, it's the same as any bombing run. They had to completely refigure the planes. They had to develop a whole delivery mechanism. They had to train because the way of dropping the style of bombs was completely different than any other type of bomb.
A pirouette? What are they up to?
Because they have to get away from it as fast as possible.
Sure.
It's how you drop it. It has to be dropped and detonated to a certain height. And also the actual payloads of it are much heavier than any other type of bomb. And then also they were talking about like the fail-safe shit. It's crazy. There's a lot of shit. Because there's a lot of stuff like, what if the bomb doesn't work? What if the bomb doesn't release? All of a sudden you're flying. You've got this thing now is now set to explode. You have this like set like this way to like, you're supposed to disengage it. Like the implosion bomb, they said would actually survive. They thought maybe that if it fell out of a plane and it landed and was a dud, it would be fine. And that like the center of it would hold. But the trigger one was so vulnerable that if it basically, if it fell and didn't break, it could, if it fell and didn't go off, it could break open and then just create 1,000 years of radiation poisoning in a place that exists. So they would have to crawl inside of the gun mechanism, but inside of the bomb, pull the gun mechanism out of it, and then release it, whatever's left. It's very scary.
Yeah.
Well, you just got to have someone who, you got to have a little bitch.
Oh, no, and that little bitch was like, there was a guy that was that guy.
Yeah.
And he was not pleased.
No, I'm sure not.
We'll talk about him later.
All right, fantastic.
And we, I think we did actually accidentally, like, remember there's that story of the, I guess it had to have been an implosion bomb that was accidentally dropped in, like, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot
relatively
about that.
recently.
Yeah. Now, for the mission to drop the atomic bomb on Japan, the Manhattan Project tapped a 29-year-old pilot named Paul Tibbets. Tibbets had survived countless bombing missions over Germany and had a year's experience flying the relatively new B-29s. He was given a 45-minute-long briefing that explained what the bomb was just a little bit. Insofar as the scientist briefing him asked Tibbets, hey, do you know what an atom is?
He said, oh, yeah, Adam's my brother Steve's friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a 45-minute training video via hip-hop lyrics when I worked at Wendy's.
Yes.
Yeah, and Tibbets said, yeah, I know what an atom is.
Yeah.
And the scientist said, good, that's all you need to know.
Well, no, I need to know more than that.
That's all he needs to know.
Then, supposedly, the scientist wrapped up the conversation in a particularly 1940s cinematic fashion. He said, quote,
You've got a lot of responsibility. If you use it wrong or if you fail, I can see you winding up in prison. Otherwise, you might be a hero.
Hell yeah, man. This is going to be great. I'm going to have a parade.
And so, starting in December of 1944, Tibbets began flying missions over Japan in B-29s loaded with so-called pumpkin bombs that were roughly the same size and weight of an atomic bomb. Much like the Fat Man bomb, each pumpkin bomb was about 10 feet long, 5 feet in circumference, and it weighed about 5 tons.
It's a hell of a pumpkin.
I definitely would get super nervous as I'm sitting in the rolling hills of Japan, watching them drop these giant, like, obviously fake bombs, right? Like, these fake bombs are landing, and you're like, oh, that looks like a pretty big bomb. And it's like, oh, they're practicing? For what are they practicing?
Very large scale, sort of Green Goblin approach, I suppose.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must have been like, what are they up to?
That's not good.
It can't be good.
Well, some of them were inert. Some, though, were filled with explosives.
Just
so
for
they didn't
fun.
really, just for fun, just to see what would happen.
We're already bombing them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But the main point of a pumpkin bomb was to make sure that the pilot didn't drop a $2 billion weapon on the outskirts of the target, or worse, from a funding perspective, in the middle of the ocean.
Think of the funding.
Of course, you always have to. How is Epstein going to give us more money after this?
I don't know. You have cum on my face.
As such, 49 training missions were flown with a variety of B-29s, all with colorful names that were sometimes a bit too conspicuous.
Yeah.
You had Strange Cargo.
Sounds like a fun movie with Humphrey Bogart.
These all sound like the super tough condoms they sell at like various very shady sex stores.
Yeah, the ones where it's like a Rough Rider, and I'm like, I'm not DMX.
Yeah.
I don't think I need that one.
It's like Ryu having sex with Chun-Li, but all you see is Ryu's ass, and it's weird.
Hello.
Another plane, Top Secret.
Oh, what's in that?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Fantastic 80s spoof spy movie, though.
Yeah. You had one called Big Stink.
That is just an insult.
Yeah.
It's an insult to everyone on that fucking plane.
One called The Great Artiste.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
You had Necessary Evil.
Okay, now we're getting on the fucking nose.
Yeah, all right. Exactly. What is this, a football movie?
And most conspicuously, Up and Atom.
That's the
I'm going to
dumbest.
shoot you.
They know it's coming.
If you kill me, but if you do deliver a pun before you shoot me in the fucking head, I'm going to be so pissed.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the problems with dropping a big, horribly expensive bomb on Japan was that there was still one island with a very active Japanese airstrip between the American airbase of Saipan and the Japanese mainland.
I thought you were going to say one problem might be the death of all the innocent people, but no, okay.
Funding, Kissel. Think of the funding.
Think of the funding. Think of the practicalities.
I do think that we can all, that is the Pentagon. Every meeting. Think of the funding.
Oh, it's every meeting, yeah.
Well, that island, where the airstrip was located, that became the site of the deadliest day in Marine Corps history. It became a byword for victory at high cost, perseverance whilst wading through the blood of your comrades, and most of all, the savagery of warfare.
War is hell.
Are we getting into the sloughing now?
No, soon.
Sleuthering?
You wait, soon.
Okay.
That island was none other than Iwo Jima.
That's the only way you could say it, too. I found that. I've tried to say Iwo Jima.
You know what was?
In any other way, but I can't. It's History Channel voices in there. I can't get rid of it because, again, if you want to get if your grandpapa is still alive, he's about 90 at this point.
Yeah.
You want to get him going, just go 2 words. Iwo Jima.
One thing that was staged was that goddamn picture that went viral even before the internet.
Yeah.
Of the flag. Now, that was actually a staged picture.
Oh, yeah, they all were. They had to, because that was them winning, and then they would go and make an official winning thing.
It wasn't winning. It was like on the 3rd day of battle. Like they just arrived.
They did the Super Bowl shuffle, and if the Bears didn't win the Super Bowl, they would be laughing.
It's literally, it's pre-shooting all the stuff for New Year's Eve.
They really did.
Although while it was staged, the Johnny Cash song, The Ballad of Ira Hayes, was very real. That was about one of the guys who did raise the flag on Iwo Jima.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ira Hayes.
Him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. He's a drunken something.
all my buddies
something about that.
Iwo Jima.
Yeah, something about that.
Yeah.
Rise from your grave.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Summer means freedom. And for adults, summer means work next to freedom. But thanks to Mint Mobile's summer sale, it can almost feel like the work is playtime for the adults. Right now, all of Mint's plans are $15 per month, even unlimited. Free yourself from big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile for high-speed data and coverage on the T-Mobile 5G network. It's so well connected, I could call from anywhere, deep from well within my bunker, where my AI-fueled robots slowly but surely toil for me, but I know for a fact I'm saving money on my phone plan. Or up above, where I'm training all of my giant Amazon female warriors who will fight in bulletproof mesh. Also, honestly, Mint Mobile's really cheap and it's really reliable, so you should use it. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 per 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabyte hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
Now, Iwo Jima was a hideous place covered in relatively soft volcanic rock.
Not to offend all the people in Iwo Jima.
Of course not.
Did a lot of people live there?
Very few,
Yeah.
but some did.
Pretty kind of farmland, I thought.
But in strategic terms, Iwo Jima was incredibly important to the Pacific theater of the war because it was dead center between Tokyo and the island of Saipan, which we talked about at the end of episode 2. Saipan, all the Marianas Islands, where the largest airport in the world existed at this time.
Saipan was the one where all the people jumped off the cliffs when we were coming because they thought we were going to go whole hog.
Yeah.
And then that was where we would launch the Enola Gay from.
Yeah. And Tinian was the cute one that was shaped like the island of Manhattan, and they named all the streets after streets in New York City.
That's real fun.
It's really fun.
That is fun.
Iwo Jima therefore became an essential location to take if American forces wanted to stop Japanese air attacks. Not to mention the fact that Iwo Jima was a perfect base for damaged bombers and rescue missions. Now, while the Manhattan Project was not the sole reason for the Battle of Iwo Jima, the battle was certainly essential to the Manhattan Project's success. And since it is a fascinating and brutal struggle, let's get into what the Marine Corps and the Japanese Imperial Army both went through during that long month in the winter of 1945.
We're really in Marcus's history happy place here.
This is good. I would use super glue on the tarmac. I'd glue all their planes down.
Jello.
I actually think
You're
Jello,
going sticky,
well, you're going,
I'm going slippery.
but isn't that that's gonna cancel each other out? Now they're just able to fly again.
I don't know.
Now, the Japanese general in charge of defending Iwo Jima, Tadamichi Kurabayashi, he came from a long line of men who would all serve the emperor. But where Kurabayashi was a general, the 4 generations before him, and this tells you where Japan was in their history, the 4 generations before him had been fucking samurai.
Yeah, man.
Also, every time, Marcus, you say his name, you look up like you want an applause break. But I will say that just millions of people say that name every day.
Oh, yeah. And you're still making someone extremely mad. No matter what.
Tadamichi Kurabayashi.
Kurabayashi.
Killian.
Interestingly, though, Kurabayashi had studied in the United States at Harvard as a military attaché in his youth. A lot of guys studied in America. When he wasn't at Harvard, though, Kurabayashi road-tripped across the country and took a special interest in Detroit. As a military man, Kurabayashi immediately saw that the industrial mechanisms of America could be turned into a massive, unstoppable war machine with, in his words, the push of a button.
Yeah, I don't want my weapons made at a Ford plant, fix or repair daily.
The Ford plants that was many of our war machines.
Yeah, fix or repair daily.
But he paid attention
Not
to those.
because Henry Ford didn't love the Nazis, though.
That's the thing, is that he loved.
Yeah, he did. Well, in this, Kurabayashi was absolutely correct. And when he learned that his people planned to attack Pearl Harbor, he privately told his family that America was the last country in the world that Japan should fight.
And all it took was one trip to Motown. That's all he had to do. He go down there because you know what he should have brought back was a goddamn trumpet. He should have saw Motown and been like,
Seriously.
damn it. You know what we need? You know what Japan needs?
I don't know.
Some soul.
I'm not sure if Motown was really swinging yet out there.
I
in
think so.
Detroit.
In the 20s?
I thought it was more of a 50s,
Motown was
60s
the
things.
60s.
Isn't that when scat was invented? Not the shit. That shit in the guy's mouth.
buddy.
Skip it out. What Kim Cattrall invented.
Uh-huh.
Kim Cattrall.
You ever see the video of Kim Cattrall
Another reference
scatting?
to Kim
I'll
Cattrall.
send you that video.
Very interesting. But I was thinking the deep dish pizza, and I'm not sure if that was invented yet.
No, that's
Anyway.
Chicago. They have Detroit-style
that's
pizza.
the Detroit style is also deep dish. But we're going to move on.
Yeah.
What this fried bottom sesame? It's got a fucking
We're going to move on.
cornmeal bottom.
Push it, moving on.
What this tells us is that some of the Japanese generals knew even before December 7th, 1941, that a war against America was unwinnable. And as it turned out, Kurabayashi would be forced to lead the defense against American invasion in one of the last major land battles of World War II.
Wow.
Now, General Kurabayashi knew that while his men could hold Iwo Jima for a time at enormous cost to the Marines, defeat both at Iwo Jima and in the war at large was inevitable. Therefore, the last thing he wrote to his wife Yoshi before he left was, "Do not plan for my return."
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
That
and then,
pussy's out the cave.
Yep, and then she just,
Don't worry, man. She was already cheating.
yeah, she had a big cherry with her tongue and moved on.
But even with impossible odds, Kurabayashi was determined to make the United States pay heavily for every inch of Iwo Jima, and pay heavily we did. First, Kurabayashi emptied the island of civilians and brought in enslaved Korean laborers to turn most of the island itself into an elaborate death trap.
Wait till you see what I do with my home when I'm selling it.
I'm excited.
Over the course of 9 months, the enslaved Koreans had built a massive system of intricate tunnels, some as deep as 75 feet below ground, and all of them were wired with electricity.
Hey, Larry, what do you think happens if I step right over here? Ah!
They also built,
Damn Iwo Jima.
War is hell.
they also built caves, pillboxes, command posts, gun emplacements, and all of it was dug directly into the island's soft volcanic rock.
It's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, it also just shows you, because we were spending billions and billions of dollars, and like, we got a shovel, a couple of pieces of feces,
Yeah, this is
some
what we were
hammers
doing
and
it.
nails, and we're going to do pretty good.
they did it all with hand tools.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Damn.
But they were also doing it with enslaved people.
Yeah.
Well,
Use
of
slaves.
course.
Use slaves.
Where's
so you
the-
gotta go to
Yeah,
bed.
that's
we got
that
audit
tends,
the Pentagon.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that using the enslaved people, that tends to cut down on a lot of the costs.
I
and
mean,
a lot
yes.
of the time and all that.
It does.
Obviously.
It really does.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
But-
Ask Tom Cruise. Like, you'd be really. It was crazy
Yeah.
how fast he got Mission Impossible 9 going
Yeah.
during COVID.
Brings the overhead way down.
But I think if you're in war too, the civilians are probably fighting for free also.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and the civilians in this case were taken out completely,
they
because at this
dipped out.
time, Korea was a Japanese quote-unquote colony. And so a lot of them were working against their will for the Japanese.
And this is still a united Korea.
Mhm.
Interesting.
But as such, the Japanese were able to utilize such terrifying tactics as the infamous spider traps.
These are fucking kinda cool.
nasty.
These trapdoors were littered around the island. This is pretty much how they worked. Marine would be walking forward. He'd be there with all of his buddies.
And I wonder if Jane will ever write back. Yeah, I wrote her about 7 months ago. Yeah, we're definitely still married.
They were so
Yeah.
romantic back then.
And he's thinking they've advanced into the
We're
island.
good.
Nothing's behind him. Everything's in front of him. All he has to worry about is what's right in front of him. When all of a sudden behind him, a fucking trapdoor opens.
It's me.
A Japanese sniper pops up and just starts picking off Marines.
Oh, my
and then by
God.
the time they figure out what's going on, that sniper is gone and just fucking running down the tunnel to the
It's
next
crazy.
position. Now, as General Kurabayashi put it in a document issued to his troops, each man would make it his duty to kill 10 of the enemy before dying. And until they were all destroyed to the last man, each Japanese soldier was duty-bound to harass the enemy with guerrilla tactics. And this was actually different from how most Japanese generals handled land battles. A lot of them used bonsai tactics,
Yeah.
the suicide attacks.
Yeah, where they'd like jump on them.
Yeah.
They'd, like with like grenades and shit,
Where
right?
they just run, like you'd usually do it at night, and they would just run towards the enemy and try to kill as many as they possibly could before the enemy killed them. But General Kobayashi, he thought this was futile. He thought this was a waste. He was like,
Right.
bonsai, kamikaze, it's fucking stupid. Why are you doing this? It's a waste of human life. When we could just go and hide and come out and kill them with guerrilla tactics.
That's what we're trying to do. And yes,
Work better.
they viewed it as kind of ungentlemanly or against Bushido, right?
Yeah.
Like that a concept of like gentleman warfare. You're supposed
Yeah.
to see the guy. You're supposed to set up a time when you arrive and fight.
My,
But they realized like, no, we're not going to do this. See, I'm already being tasked with an impossible thing.
Yeah.
My grandfather Herb, from the American side, he used to rail against snipers, saying that they were cowards because they did not look at the enemy in the eye. And to surprise somebody and kill them, it was considered, trashy.
I mean,
It literally is
wow.
trashy.
So you're just saying it was like, so they were like the Snookies.
But
of
he was in
World
the
War II.
he was in the Korean War. But yeah,
Korean War's different.
It is
I
altogether
actually,
different.
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to go in and say I'm really I'm pro our sniper community. And I just want to say, I don't
Yeah, you're
mean
taking
any
your
sort
bets.
of to both of the cameras. I just want to say straight up to our sniper community, we're cool. I love what you do. Good work. Keep doing it. Stay silent.
I
Stay
don't know.
hungry.
That's what I thought with the Chris Kyle thing, American Sniper. Yeah, he killed a bunch of people, but I mean,
It's extraordinarily difficult to be a sniper. You have to be in top
I
10
know.
percentile. That's very cool. And it's very helpful.
It's extremely
the
difficult.
weapons have gotten pretty good.
I seriously,
all I'll
again,
say.
Ben Kissel is also the biggest target.
yeah,
No,
He's
I'm
the
not.
easiest
I'm
target.
not.
yeah,
Of the
easily.
three of us?
Of the three of us, yeah, absolutely.
Because
I'm-
I switch up my fucking ways in and out.
up, down, side, right,
Yeah.
left.
Yeah,
I
but
know,
you've got
but-
that big, you've got a much larger center of gravity. I'd be the hardest one to hit.
I think that my meat actually would, I'd catch a bullet that was less lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just pretend like you're dead.
Yeah.
So a lot of, sadly.
Just continue.
Just move on.
Well, on Iwo Jima, a lot of those guys, actually a lot of the soldiers ignored the order and went bonsai anyway.
Yeah.
But regardless, considering how the Japanese Imperial Army of World War II is considered to be one of the most tenacious armies in
Yeah.
world history, the men took Kobayashi's directive to heart, which meant that the Marines were in for a long haul.
God damn Iwo Jima.
It's difficult to go bonsai. You got to climb up to the second rope. You got to have the guy lying there. You got to stun him first.
Oh, yeah. Hit
Yeah.
him
You
with the
gotta-
thing. You got to get the manager looking over there because you got your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like he's fighting with the ref. Yeah.
Yokozuna, bonsai indeed.
Ah.
He also shat on Bret Hart's chest once.
I heard.
Or did Bret Hart shit? Either way, somebody shat.
And Yokozuna was involved.
Yeah.
You'd know. That's for sure.
R.I.P.
Now, at this point, I'd like to say to our combat veteran listeners, specifically our Marines, that we are going to get deep into what actually happened on Iwo Jima.
So turn up that hearing aid and really try to remember. Do you remember how you were traumatized by Saving Private Ryan? You ready to do it with cum
No.
jokes?
Yeah, I'm going
No.
to say if you ain't up for combat today, feel free to skip ahead about 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
So at 9 a.m. on February 19th, 1945.
We need some American music. We need to come in like with that silent, like, like whatever that, early morning, like, they do in the Pacific
Yeah.
in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to tap slightly playing.
And I'm mighty proud of that ragged old.
So maybe I can give this first paragraph a little bit of a different
Some
voice.
gravitas.
At 9 a.m. on February 19th, 1945, 2 divisions of Marines arrived at the beaches of Iwo Jima to no resistance. In less than an hour, 9,000 men were ashore, awash in what they all described as an eerie silence.
Iwo Jima.
Wow.
Now, the Marines had been told that they were going to land on a beautiful beach, no resistance. But what they found instead was a 15-foot high slope of soft volcanic ash that slowed them down considerably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What the
because they do march.
Well, what the Japanese had done is when they dug out those tunnels, what they had dug out, they had thrown on the beaches, and that gummed up the works entirely.
Mm.
This is a big problem because the plan was for the Marines to land on a clear beach in waves, and each group was supposed to be much further inland when the next group arrived. But because of the ash, the Marines were slowed down considerably, and they got bunched up on the beach.
I mean, they really should have sent the memo out to the Japanese telling them we're coming. Could you please not
It's
do
like,
that? It would
hey,
make
let's
it
think
more
about this.
difficult for us.
Always
Tidy it
send
up.
a text.
Mhm.
Always.
And once General Korebayashi felt that there were enough Marines ashore to make it worthwhile, the shelling and machine gun fire began.
So nothing, this is easier than they said it was going to be, huh? No problems here.
That's what they thought, and that happened quite a bit. I mean, it also happened like in Okinawa too, where they just don't know that there is a tactic being played upon them.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
Yeah. From the recesses of the caves up above, dug into the volcanic rock, Japanese machine gunners opened fire from the darkness. Marines attempted to return fire, but they only had brief muzzle flashes to ascertain the machine gunner's position. Besides that, the constant shelling of artillery made it difficult to line up a shot. Soon, the machine gunners and the artillery had filled the beach with dead bodies, and since they were bunched up in such a relatively small area, each shell blew the corpses into smaller and smaller pieces, sending them flying into the air. The beach was soon littered with limbs and torsos that were continually taken out and back in by the tide, and strewn amongst the gore were dozens, if not hundreds, of Valentine's Day cards that had been delivered to the dead and dying Marines just days before.
And I actually have to say, I did get an early screener of Oppenheimer, and when they played "It's Raining Men" over this scene,
I thought that
that was so rude.
The distaste,
I thought that was so rude.
Distaste that they would show.
So you're trying to bring some levity to this? This serious? You're going to bring levity to this?
But honestly, I do appreciate it because then it segued to "It's Raining Men."
It was a different version.
It was a rendition. The rendition was much
acoustic,
nicer.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow, what a bold
Disgusting.
decision. Rude.
Pete Davidson just shows up. He was like a magic crab.
Oh.
I mean,
He'd be great at that. He'd be great at that too.
Well, on that first day, out of the 30,000 Marines who landed, 2,420 died. As was written in The Making of the Atomic Bomb, men tripped over 15-foot-long strings of intestines as they tried to avoid bodies that had been cut in half at the waist by machine gun fire. Due to the artillery shells, legs, arms, and heads bearing only necks lay 50 feet from the closest torso, which may or may not have been once enjoined to those limbs. But despite the gore and horror, the Marines pushed through.
Wow.
God-forsaken Iwo Jima.
That is so. I might just say, can we go back now?
Well, but also,
are we done now?
You're such a good soldier. Your intestines are fighting.
Oh, my God. It really is the beginning of Suicide Squad.
And this is day one. Behind those 30,000 Marines who'd stormed the beach at Iwo Jima, a further 40,000 joined them in the following days for a brutal battle that would last well over a month, making it the bloodiest battle in Marine Corps history.
Wow.
On the second day of battle, one soldier remembered seeing a fellow Marine receive a direct hit to the face from a Japanese shell. It blew away his jaw, exposing his teeth while also blowing open his skull. Lying atop the Marine's right ear was a ball of gray matter that used to be his brains, but incredibly, he was still alive. All the Marine could do was make a motion with his right hand, asking one of his corpsmen to finish the job. And quite swiftly, one of his fellow Marines obliged the request.
And I tell you what, when I saw that, there was a lot, but now I'm fine.
You're fine?
I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah,
one thing I have really learned from that, truly, honestly, one of the biggest things I learned from Iwo Jima. Wear sunscreen.
Yeah, you're going to want some sunscreen there. If you could apply it to your brain somehow.
God, just the idea of the guy just going,
But you know what? Don't worry about it. In 20 years, we're going to have the microwave. You're going to love the microwave.
Actually, I think the microwave's only about like 10 years at this point, yeah.
Listen, 40, 50 years from now, you might get to see Scarlett Johansson naked and under the skin. Just remember that.
Reference.
No. By 1955, you're going to be screaming all night long and keeping your wife awake, and she's going to be terrified of you. Your children are going to be terrified of you. But guess what? Your wife is not going to have to worry about slaving over a hot oven all day long because she's going to have a brand new invention called the microwave.
The
microwave. Also popcorn that works on the stove.
Easy life.
Jiffy Pop.
Now, by the fifth day, the Marines had come upon a
That actually was that young Marine's last name.
Jiffy Pop.
Alexander Jiffy. That's where it came from. That's all in honor of him.
Yes.
Now, by the fifth day, the Marines had come upon a plateau that was home to 4 defensive positions that came to be known respectively as Hill 282, Manami Village, the Amphitheater, and Turkey Knob.
Turkey Knob. Okay. Who named that one?
I'd imagine some good old boy from the mountains of Tennessee.
Nice Turkey Knob.
He's looking for some smoked turkey. I miss it.
Okay.
These collective defenses made up the most impenetrable fortress on Iwo Jima, and it therefore came to be known as the Meat Grinder.
I don't like that. If you could send me not into that part of war.
However, the Japanese could only hold out for so long. Not only were the men on the island running out of supplies, but Japan itself had very little to give. The only resupply came when 3 Japanese planes tried parachuting medical supplies, food, and ammunition. All 3 were shot down, and only a small amount of relief fell within Japanese territory. This was the only attempt to resupply the Japanese during the Battle of Iwo Jima, because that's all they had.
All right.
The Marines, meanwhile, were not only one hell of a fighting force, but they were also blessed with, if you look at it in a relative sense, infinite supplies.
Yeah, because we had built a whole chain of supplies like up to this point. It's all right there.
Yeah, when we've taken the Philippines, we're in it. Like, we're there. And of course, that is owed to the incredible industrial power that General Kurabayashi had seen for himself decades earlier. He was seeing himself proven right. Therefore, the Marines slowly took Iwo Jima inch by inch.
Yikes.
Good Dan Carlin voice.
Yeah, inch by inch. Now, when it came to the terrifying weapon...
Yeah, what are we talking about here, guys?
Hey,
guys, what are we talking about?
Iwo Jima.
Wow.
Now, when it came to the terrifying weapons of World War II, the one that soldiers, and especially the Japanese, tended to fear most was the flamethrower.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah.
That's definitely top 3.
Now, when one thinks of a flamethrower...
Have you seen the Dick Ripper? Yikes.
Yeah.
Now, when one thinks of the flamethrower, you usually have an image of a guy with a big tank on his back standing 10 feet from another soldier, letting loose a stream of drippy flame that immediately engulfs the target.
Oh, you don't want to cast me?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to cast me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it all the time.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And indeed, some men did die like this. A flamethrower jet burns at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, just a hair hotter than the temperature inside a crematory. While death does come relatively quick, it is preceded by instant agony and terror as the thickened fuel clings to the skin and clothes, making stop, drop, and roll a non-starter.
I mean, yeah, you're so fucking dead.
Yeah.
At that
A lot of
point.
times it doesn't happen with easy access to a pool.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's never really like at an Airbnb. You never like hit with one like at a Vegas like resort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like even if pool, it would, because it sticks to you.
Think of it as a flame coat.
It's a flame coat. Yeah. A whole bodysuit.
Yeah, think of that.
Oh, man, that's horrible.
But when it came to field battle, flamethrowers weren't always great weapons, as many flamethrower operators learned on D-Day.
Oh yeah, I
it's like
learned
they're
from
carrying a pack of gasoline.
I learned it from my last playthrough of Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
You just shoot it and it explodes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
yes.
single bullet to a flamethrower tank usually caused the operator to explode in a ball of napalm and flame.
And you get to go, ah!
Great stuntman work.
Yeah.
That's what these wars have provided for the past almost 100 years of cinema. Wonderful work for stuntmen.
Well, therefore, flamethrowers were mostly used in battles like Iwo Jima to clear out caves and bunkers. They weren't front-line guys.
Makes sense.
During a push at the meat grinder, for example, the entrance to a cave was first saturated with fuel, then the flamethrower was brought in to flush them out. Those who didn't asphyxiate in the cave when they tried running further in to escape the flames, those guys were set on fire, and they ran out of the cave as burning torches. According to the Marines, the flamethrowers were the only weapons that the Japanese truly feared, but the flames were only half the point. While a flamethrower does indeed produce death and destruction, you've also got to be fucking insane to use a flamethrower.
I think so.
And that sort of psychological edge was important in battles like Iwo Jima.
It's intimidating. It's an intimidating look.
Well, it's X factors.
Yeah.
What Dan Carlin brings up all the time. Those things that are a part of history that you are like, no one wants to be hit with one. You know,
I don't want to be hit with one.
And as soon as the flamethrowers get broken out, everyone's like, "Oh man,
oh shit!"
We already called this place the meat grinder, which I thought was fairly unpleasant enough, and I thought it would discourage people coming here. But apparently, the flamethrowers are really going to make this sort of a hot meat grinder.
I guess, yeah. It would. I mean, I suppose the meat grinder does make you think that there's some weapon that just grinds up human bones as you approach people, but I don't think that's really practical.
It took them a week to take the meat grinder, and they called it the meat grinder just because it was waves after. They couldn't figure it out. Like everyone was just they just couldn't figure out how to fucking. They knew they could figure it out eventually, but it took a lot of lives.
And in honor of Pride, of course, make sure to go for 2-for-1s between 4 to 7 at Meat Grinder, MEET Grinder, right here in beautiful Burbank, California.
Now, after a month of fighting on Iwo Jima, almost 7,000 Marines had been killed, while almost 22,000 had been wounded. Oof. The Japanese, meanwhile, had lost 20,000 men. Only 216 were taken prisoner.
Wow.
And out of those 216, most were only captured because they'd been knocked unconscious and had just been found lying on the ground.
That's what I would do.
Oh, yeah, I'd be asleep.
I'd just take a bonk to the head.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, you don't want me to be in any, you don't want me to have military secrets. I'm going to fold.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right to the other team.
Same
I'm
here.
just going to go
these
run.
people didn't even have any secrets. They were slaves, so they were just told to run out there, probably,
No, these are Japanese soldiers that I'm talking about.
Oh, these are soldiers now?
Yeah. No. That's the thing. You didn't put the laborers in battle.
No, they were all highly trained.
Yeah, these are extraordinarily well-trained, vicious soldiers. Now, included in the dead was General Kurabayashi, who felt that it was his duty to die defending the island. It was thought that Kurabayashi was the only high-ranking Japanese general to die in the war while personally leading his men in battle. But while you may think that the high Marine death toll would make him an object of hatred, he was instead respected. And the man in charge of operations at Iwo Jima actually requested that the general's body be found so he could be given a proper burial.
Back in Iwo Jima, there were rules.
There doesn't seem like there were many rules, but that seems like one.
Well, I remember that there was actually a quote, like after the second or third day, you know, with all the sand and all that, the general in charge said, "I don't know who's in charge over there, but he's one smart son of a bitch."
Wow, look at that. What a great day to chew on a stogie.
Yeah.
They were more polite than what happened in Vietnam.
Oh,
that's a whole thing.
That's a whole different can of worms.
Yep.
Back when men were men.
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep selling these cans of worms. Who's buying them?
Well, fishermen probably.
There were, however, holdouts on Iwo Jima. At least 3,000 Japanese soldiers waged a 3-month-long guerrilla campaign against the garrison force at Iwo Jima after the battle was won. And more incredible were the 2 machine gunners who held out until January of 1949.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
3.5 years after the Japanese surrender.
Well, those guys they hid, right? Where they were lost, and then they just kept thinking the war never ended.
Well, they didn't know, so they erred on the side of the war ain't over.
And then they killed Amelia Earhart.
That's possible. We don't know it's not true.
Amelia Earhart arrived. I maybe seduced them all in a sort of sexy version of a Gilligan's Island kind of scenario, but I don't know. But
I don't know.
Gilligan's Island was sexy.
She was the horniest lost woman since
The last
Virgin
one.
Mary.
Yeah.
Because Virgin Mary, she never did get plugged.
Well, she did.
I think she got plugged after. Then they never talked about what happened after the Virgin.
I think that she cheated on Joseph.
Yeah, once she got her shit popped by the Lord, it's a long list. Try to get up in that. Get them seconds.
Well, that's fun, though. That must have actually been a fun 3 years, thinking the war is still going on, but then there isn't a war.
I think it might have been
still
stressful.
get to do all the, latent homosexual acts with your buddies. Because it's
different
war.
in war.
It's different in war. You get to, it's lonely.
Raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Can't believe they put that in that movie.
Rise from your grave.
This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. It's so important to remember with the busyness of the holidays, every holiday, Arbor Day, that day about the planet, President's Day. There's so many things to adapt to in this life, and it doesn't follow a perfect plan. God, ruins the whole weekend. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, it can be a space to pause, reevaluate, and adjust to any unexpected changes. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is one of the leading online therapy platforms, having served millions of people globally. BetterHelp makes it easier to fit therapy into your routine. You're in good hands, too. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours of hands-on experience, and hold all required education, training, and certifications. It's easy to do, and the help is better over there. You don't have to navigate life's changes alone. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod. In the United States of America, there's a break-in every 26 seconds. That means somewhere, right now, an intruder is getting closer. The problem is most security systems only alert you after a break-in has already started. That's too late. Choose SimpliSafe to secure your home. Using the Outdoor Camera Series 2 and advanced AI alerts, SimpliSafe's U.S.-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them, stopping crimes before it starts. That's real peace of mind. They've got a really great security system that makes sure people don't get in your house or it makes a big noise. And to me, that's a big deal for me, is that it protects all of our yelling with a siren in our studio, which is one of the most important things that can be protected. I don't care if thieves come and kidnap us. I don't care if marauders come and steal our staff and bring them to another country against their will. As long as our words aren't affected, as long as our precious data isn't affected. And SimpliSafe does that. And for that, I say, God bless you, SimpliSafe. God bless you. God bless you, SimpliSafe. God bless you. Experience greater peace of mind with SimpliSafe, now available with an exclusive discount for our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplisafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Now, to this point, Iwo Jima was a bit of a microcosm of the attitudes the Japanese military had towards the war. Some, like the general, knew that it was futile to keep fighting, but did so anyway out of honor, while others fanatically kept going because they either didn't want to surrender or they didn't believe that Japan would ever do so. Mm-hmm. In other words, battles like Iwo Jima went a long way towards the necessary evil argument when it came to dropping 2 atomic bombs on Japan.
But I just got to tell you one thing, Barry. I'm having the time of my life.
I do feel like there is a little bit of that, and I also, because this was a very specific battle, but they used that as a way. Well, that's the thing. Why they dropped the bomb? It's so hazy. It's so hazy. It's a long historical discussion.
Yeah.
But they would use these. They would cherry pick, and because they're bringing shit to the president to kind of pitch why we need to use the bomb. And this is like one of those ways they did it. They framed this.
Number one, cool. It's cool.
It's cool. It's big. Cool. Make a big noise.
Make a big noise.
Well, not just that, but, these battles are being shown in newsreels all across America all the time. Like after every single battle, the newsreels come back. Everyone goes to the movie theater. They see, and they're fucking brutal. These newsreels,
dude.
They are absolutely brutal.
You can see here, despite the percussive events of all these bombs, these body parts are written together. And can you see, yes, Colonel Stevens, can we give him a hand?
And then what movie would play after that? I'm trying to think. 1940 cinema?
1944.
Who the fuck knows?
Like Casablanca,
Actually, a newsreel before Casablanca is a great preview.
Oh, it is.
That movie is historic in some ways.
It is.
No. With Iwo Jima taken, there were no significant obstacles in the way of a steady stream of firebombers that absolutely ravaged the cities of Japan prior to the dropping of the atomic bomb.
It's almost like the firebombs were just as bad.
Just as bad.
Yeah.
Well, almost. I'd say almost as bad because the fires went out pretty fast.
Yeah, and then it was over at least.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that sad? Are you guys talking about your marriages? Still single.
I know, man.
Don't tell Jerry.
Oh, yeah. I know a couple of dogs would be pretty mad to hear that.
But while the targets were meant to mostly be industrial and military, most times residential areas were burned in the process, just as it had been in Germany. As one spokesman for the Air Force put it, the entire population of Japan was a proper military target. no
Yeah,
matter who it was.
Basically because of Pearl Harbor.
Because of Pearl Harbor.
Once they hit us, that's what he's basically saying.
And we had a lot of civilians die in Pearl Harbor.
Yes, and so we're like, they decided to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they did that.
And they did that, yeah.
And it was bad.
It was revenge.
And it was.
So, on March 10th, 1945, bombers dropped gel bombs ranging from 6 to 1,000 pounds on the residential district of Shidamachi in Tokyo, which was then home to 750,000 people.
Shidamachi, that's a lot of bombs.
That's a lot
There
of bombs.
you go. You did it.
Shidamachi,
No.
man. I can't believe.
There we go.
See, many structures in Japan at the time were built of highly flammable paper and wood. And during the firebombing of Tokyo, the wind was blowing hard enough and the buildings were burning fast enough that the fire actually got ahead of the bombers. But they dropped firebombs on the fires anyway.
They were just like, hold on, fire. This fire is really aggressive. They really want to fight today.
The description and making of the atomic bomb is harrowing.
Yeah.
About how it's a town of fuel. And they knew it. And they dropped it on it. And they watched it form into this fucking literal like fire hurricane.
Like a tunnel.
That like it became this spire. The bombers had to lift up. They had to put oxygen masks on. The planes were getting hot.
Yeah, I would
It was
believe
fucking
it.
scary.
And the planes were 6,000 feet up, and they still had to put on oxygen masks.
Wow.
The only thing that stopped the fire after it destroyed 15.9 square miles of Tokyo was a river. And by the end of it, at least 100,000 people were burned alive. Additionally, over 1 million had been injured and 1 million were homeless. But even though they were faced with this horror, even though we knew exactly what happened and what it looked like, Air Force General Curtis LeMay, who earned such nicknames as Old Iron Pants,
Oh.
Bombs Away LeMay,
Yeah.
and most chillingly, the Demon,
Well, that one's a little on the nose.
he ordered more.
Hey.
LeMay also did some pretty controversial stuff in Vietnam.
Hey, hello
Yeah.
there. Hey, hello. It's me, General LeMay. Just want to say, first of all, yeah, I know we dropped a lot of firebombs already. Everybody's kind of up in arms about
I
that.
know that.
So I figured I could do is, why not instead we'll send a wave of water and ice bombs. Funny little joke. Let's really burn it up. I actually would
you wanna
love
really-
to
we
see-
already burned it quite a
yeah,
bit,
Yeah,
so.
Can I go burn one? Can someone bring
Yeah.
me a Japanese person so I can set him personally on fire? Thank
Seems like
you.
you have bloodlust.
Yeah, no. They
Yeah.
call me the demon for some reason.
The demon.
Well, over the next 6 days, the Air Force firebombed 4 more cities until they ran out of firebombs. And in all, they burned over 32 square miles of Japanese cities at the conservative estimated cost of 150,000 lives. That number, by the way, beats the lowest estimate of deaths attributed to the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by about 40,000.
See?
That means that technically, to the point of pure slaughter, firebombing was more effective and less expensive than an atomic bomb.
Yay.
Well, here you go.
But in the end,
But we did with one.
that's the thing. In the end, it's all about that big mushroom cloud.
It
You want to
really
see
is.
the mushroom cloud.
And
You do want to see it, don't
Apparently, it was beautiful. We'll
Yeah.
get into that next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've all seen it, haven't we?
We've seen some.
The mushroom cloud.
No,
We've seen mushroom clouds. There's only one picture of the mushroom cloud at Hiroshima.
Next week, I'll go into more detail of the horrific beauty of the mushroom cloud.
Yes, indeed. I'm happy it wasn't a broccoli cloud. You ever smell one of those? Well,
Let's get right into it.
Yuck. Anybody, you've been eating some broccoli? Yeah, I'm trying not to die from diabetes.
Yeah. Like you better if you did.
And so
I'm part of the broccoli brigade. All right, everyone, turn around and march backwards. and fart, and fart, and fart.
And there's our General Captain Marcus Farts.
God damn it, I'm here to win the war.
5 pounds of broccoli today, Kevin. They really fart bomb that place.
Stupid.
Yeah, well.
And so, you may be asking, while America was burning hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians alive in their homes over the course of a few days, what were the boys over at the Manhattan Project up to when it came to figuring out how to vaporize almost as many people in just an instant?
They put up a production of arsenic and old lace. That is real. And it's completely
wow.
legit. They held protests. They were developing a little family. It felt like a camp atmosphere.
Nice.
They were all working out there. A whole generation of babies were born there, and they were loose cannons. Technically, they were kind of having a lot of fun, but it was very stressful.
Yeah.
The mushroom cloud babies.
Well, by late 1944, Richard Feynman and Otto Frisch had conducted what they called the Dragon Experiment, which proved that a chain reaction could be used to create a massive explosion in a military capacity. As a result, both types of bombs, plutonium and uranium, were on track to be completed by late summer of 1945. But on April 12th, just when the world was on the cusp of victory against Germany, President Franklin Roosevelt suffered a cerebral hemorrhage in the middle of having his portrait painted at his home in Hyde Park, New York, and he died that afternoon.
Apparently,
okay, stay still.
He's
really still.
Yeah.
He hasn't moved and I'm done with the painting.
I'm done. He can go now.
He can leave.
Honestly, they painted him mid. It was a slam dunk competition. It was him versus Will Chamberlain's grandfather.
Wow.
He was kind of crazy. The air he caught, but they did have to throw.
Yeah, of course.
There was a guy who threw.
Man, I just watched Conan the Barbarian. Wilt Chamberlain's great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Great.
He's always
great.
Always wonderful.
Great.
Replacing FDR was one of the most consequential figures of the 20th century when it came to setting the stage for the Cold War with the Soviet Union. And it could well be argued that had this man not been in charge, the dropping of the atomic bomb might have been handled differently.
Fuck you, I know what I was doing.
Yeah. I don't think even he wanted it.
No, I don't.
He's such a little bitch.
No, he wanted it. He absolutely wanted it.
Because everyone thought he was weak, and he's like, nah, man, so you.
Well, that not necessarily.
He was tiny.
He was definitely a Cartman of presidents.
Yes.
Well, instead of FDR, the man who had the power to make the decision of if, when, and how the bomb would be dropped was FDR's vice president, Harry S. Truman. Now, Truman had not been FDR's vice president throughout his 13-year run in office, and Truman had in fact been placed on the ticket during FDR's fourth run specifically because it was seen as a near certainty that FDR would die in office that term. So if you were agreeing to be a vice president, you were agreeing to be president.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And isn't history repeating?
It is.
Isn't that nice?
It is.
Isn't that nice?
See, FDR's previous running mate, Henry Wallace, he had made a lot of enemies on the more conservative side of the Democratic Party because he opposed racial segregation and had a more Bernie Sanders approach to the economy.
But I mean, FDR was technically left wing, right? But he did kind of trying to appeal to a bunch of people. It's very complicated, obviously. It's past me.
Well, Wallace was very left-wing. Like, Wallace was left-wing to the point where, like, he went to the Soviet Union and they showed him the gulags, but they showed him, like, a sanitized version of the gulags. Like, they were like, yes, these are all volunteers. Look at all this good work they're doing. And
the way we put it is it's like it's a home away from home.
Yeah.
You come in, you write your political screeds. One time, please don't sit there.
If I ever go to prison, I'm gonna get like a what would be the opposite of live, laugh, love?
Home is where the farts are, or something like that. Yeah, that's what you need.
Home away from home.
Yeah.
Well, Wallace is great, but Wallace was also very naive when it came to the Soviet Union. And that's what people feared most. They feared that he openly favored heavy cooperation with the Soviet Union. And therefore, Wallace was replaced at the 1944 convention with Harry S. Truman against Roosevelt's wishes, which of course resulted in the antagonistic and confrontational policies that led to the Cold War and arguably the dropping of the bomb.
Harry, get over here. Okay, now, staff member, pick up my leg. Harry, bend over. Pick up my leg and kick him in the butt.
I appreciate it, Mr. President.
Now, incredibly, Franklin Roosevelt and Harry Truman, they only met once prior to FDR's death. And it was for like...
Who are you?
It was for like 45 minutes. It was a quick lunch.
Yeah, they could see eye to eye, even while he was sitting down.
Yeah.
Well, naturally when he was sitting down.
Well, partly this was due to the fact that FDR died only 82 days into his fourth term. Basically, FDR was like, I'll get around to it eventually.
Right.
Let's meet with him. And he didn't have to campaign at all.
He was trying to end the war.
Yeah. And he's like, we'll get to Truman when we get to Truman.
Meanwhile, Truman is just out there peeping through all the paintings, just be like, when's he going to die? When's he going to die? When am I president?
But tellingly, when FDR died and Truman contacted Eleanor Roosevelt to ask if there was anything he could do for her, Eleanor basically said, what do you mean is there anything you can do? You're the one who's fucked.
Yeah, man. You just got placed with a very complicated series of decisions that you're going to have to figure out how to make that might affect history.
Yeah.
Well, one nice thing about complicated decisions is boom, go big.
Boom, go
And
big.
isn't that easy?
You think about, you know what I like about complicated decisions? Sometimes you just make them simple. Just
Yeah.
going like, I don't wanna. I like that one. Like, you'd be surprised about how like so many huge decisions come down to some very important person going, I like that one.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's
For
it.
whatever
And that's
reason.
why he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's also why it was so incredibly complicated, because the decision to put Truman on the ticket was made at the Democratic Party convention. And FDR knew, that we almost have the bomb. Whoever is president next is going to have the bomb, but he can't tell anybody that he's
tell
got
anybody.
the bomb. He can't say that the person that comes
That's
up next is going to have an
fucking trippy.
incredible fucking responsibility. So he basically
He
is like,
found it on day of. They're like, hey, just so you know, you're president now. Yeah, I know all this type of stuff. He just died. Blah blah blah. It's really really intense. There's this thing called the atomic bomb. We're about to have it. Pause on this. We're going to come right back to you. Harry S. Truman sitting like, what? And they had to tell him over several days.
Well, that's the thing. is that,
Man,
Like
that's
Truman,
fun.
Truman had seen the edges of the Manhattan Project because he was chair of the Committee on Military Affairs. He had seen that there was this project that a lot of money was getting spent on. He's like, "What's that thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And when
Need
he
to know basis, and you don't need to know.
and when he became vice president, he was told like, "Hey, there's this thing called the Manhattan Project. You'll find out about it one
And then
day."
he did a great bit about how if it was the Queen's project, it would be like
Again.
more like a Zeppelin.
and because he was president, they're all like,
Yeah.
incredible. That's the best bit I've ever heard. Make it a shirt.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's fun though. When the conventions before they were all a ruse,
Yeah.
when they would actually promote somebody new, like that must have been like stunning.
Yeah, it must
Yeah.
have been fun. It must have been. It
When they're
feels
like, Delaware goes for Truman, and then people are like, "What?"
yeah, when they
Yeah.
were trying to
They go
like actually run the country.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
But just after FDR died, same day, in fact, Truman was given the full scope of just what had been going on in the deserts of New Mexico for the last few years.
He's literally just getting done bouncing in the president's chair. Just be
Yes.
like, "I'm here now."
Faithfully, on the same day that FDR died, Otto Frisch had given Oppenheimer a report on the success of the Dragon experiment. So not only was Truman told of the Manhattan Project, he was told that, holy fuck, this thing actually works. So if you want to destroy an entire city with one bomb, you can.
This is the best day of my life.
That's incredible.
You can actually, they have released journal entries from Harry S. Truman, but him writing right after finding out about the Manhattan Project, and you can feel the terror that he has.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of
in
responsibility.
holding this responsibility.
It's a
He's
lot of
like, it was like,
responsibility.
you can feel the terror of like, I wish I wouldn't have said yes to this. This is horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, after it became clear that the bomb was an inevitability, the scientists at Los Alamos, Niels Bohr chief among them, tried convincing the U.S. officials that we needed to share what we knew about nuclear weapons with the Soviet Union so as to prevent a nuclear arms race and an eventual nuclear holocaust.
Boy.
Wow,
yeah.
and that just wow. And they all
Really?
jumped on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, had Henry Wallace been president,
Oh yeah.
it's somewhat likely that this might have happened.
Yeah, all of history would be very different.
Yeah. But as it was, Bohr was waved off and told to come back later, while he and the rest of the scientists moved on to further calculations concerning how to maximize the destruction of the bomb.
Help, I've got my head stuck in the staircase.
God damn it, Bohr.
I just but take my advice. We have to share.
Yeah.
We have to share.
All
Listen,
right.
if you just get some butter,
I'm
going
gonna
to
get the butter. I was gonna suggest the
yes,
butter.
because I'm very firmly jammed.
You know you are.
No, basically, an atomic bomb doesn't work like a conventional bomb, as in it doesn't go boom when it hits the ground.
Because up to this point, bombs are fairly inexact science.
Yeah.
Like you really just blew shit up.
Yeah, you just drop it, it goes, and
Well,
that's
you
it.
got your air burst, which is a very controversial starburst flavor.
Oh, I don't like it.
Land burst. It's a whole bunch of bursts.
Well, instead of all that, the bomb had to be detonated manually. But if you detonate the bomb too soon after dropping it, it wastes its energy burning up oxygen in the sky. It's also going to blow up the plane. But you detonate it too low, and you only create a radioactive crater in the ground.
And that just really, I mean, that just makes them die in like 5 years after a whole bunch of cancer.
And you're wasting it.
Well, what you wanted for maximum wow factor was to explode it at just the right height where the energy expended has a chance to travel as far out as possible and to send the resulting shockwave as far out as possible. This both vaporizes anything organic in the immediate blast, then it destroys anything in the shockwave radius.
That
And
is
again-
the sonic boom,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah,
That's
and-
the
and
sonic boom.
Remember you're saying that, and a scientist cadence of how exciting this would be. And
I mean, it is crazy.
Because J. Robert Oppenheimer, for all of his, obviously his belief in human rights movements and all of the stuff that he worked on, there was this fascination.
There was a giddiness.
There was a giddiness of like, we wanted to not only work, but we wanted to work at its best.
Yeah, it's the people that are creating AI right now.
Yes.
They're all like, this is going to be really bad. Let's get back to work.
Let's get back to work. Well, we're not done yet.
Now, when FDR died, Germany was all but beat, so we knew we wouldn't be using the bomb on European soil. And besides that, to put it in as bluntest terms as possible, the idea of dropping the bomb on white people made everyone a little less gung-ho about using it.
Oh, yeah, man. There was definitely, that was a part of the factor, for certain.
So when it came to where it would be dropped, America switched focus to the enemy that we'd spent 4 years dehumanizing completely, the Japanese, and research began to decide which city or cities might be the best target.
Well,
I'm looking at you, Bugs Bunny.
But it also happened outside of the president's purview. These things were already set in motion. The Manhattan Project was just rolling. Like, no one gave a fuck. No one tried to stop anything. And so while he was like, Truman started the philosophizing of what are we going to do with the bomb after and now and blah, blah, blah. They're already choosing targets and in the most like brutal way possible.
Yeah. Now, in order for the bomb to have maximum psychological effect, General Groves wanted a city that was mostly military in nature, but had not already been bombed to shit, so as to show the full destructive potential of an atomic bomb.
They wanted the show,
nice.
dude.
That's nice.
Eventually, it came down to the ancient imperial city of Kyoto or the mostly industrial city of Hiroshima. Kyoto was fortunately spared at the insistence of Secretary of War Henry Stimson.
I like to vacation there during the summertime. Have you been there in the summer?
It was kind of like that.
It's actually a lot like that. He said it's a beautiful city. It's full of history. It would be a crime against humanity to destroy Kyoto.
See? Art does save lives.
And
it does.
And I've been to Kyoto, and I'm
Have
very...
you?
Yeah.
No shit. That's right. After Australia last time.
Yeah. I went to Kyoto. It's
gorgeous.
It is an incredible city. I've never seen anything like it. You know,
were they scared of you when you came? When you arrived?
It's been some time.
Okay, good.
No, not at all. The people of Kyoto were actually wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go.
I heard I'm too big.
No, they'll all be like, ride the dragon. Oh, see look at him. He comes from the mountain.
I'm going to be held captive and be forced to perform.
So the Secretary of War, he nixes Kyoto.
Okay.
Hiroshima,
It's too pretty.
Hiroshima, on the other hand, was historically a military city. And in 1945, the Second General Army was stationed in Hiroshima for the defense of Western Japan. When it came to civilians, though, Hiroshima was also a center of education, second only to Tokyo.
I mean, Americans are like, gives a fuck.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
blow that up.
It's a lot of students.
Oh.
Nevertheless, Hiroshima became target number one. But right around that time, just weeks after FDR died, Adolf Hitler committed suicide.
Swish, swish, quotation marks.
I've seen some pictures of a man that looks just like
him
in Argentina.
And with that, the Western theater of the war came to a close.
It's over.
Europe's done.
We
It's
did
over.
it.
Yay!
Nazis, you ain't so good anymore.
But anymore.
That's good. Wait, ever.
Very good.
That's
Excellent. No,
I would have
excellent.
not.
We saw the gleam in his eyes.
You know what? Let's just move on.
It's a numbers game.
It is a numbers game. Also, I wish that they would have a little plaque for his burial. It's just underneath the goddamn
Yeah, it's underneath
the parking lot.
No, there is a
Now
bit of a...
they finally put.
Did they put a plaque there?
Well, it's not a plaque. It's more of an info card.
Yes, because people
I
were
saw
going
when
on
we
a
were in Berlin.
They were trying not to promote the site of where his dead
yeah.
body was, but then eventually, so many people just go. They just put up a sign.
Yeah, it's just a little info, and it shows you a diagram of the bunker.
But it's like low income housing, which has got to be extremely depressing as you just drive past me and like the site of Hitler's suicide. Like each day you come back with milk.
You guys were the ones in Dallas stopping traffic, pretending you were getting shot in the head like JFK.
It was kind of fun.
Oh, but right adjacent to the Hitler suicide spot is a beautiful Holocaust memorial.
It is.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I walked that.
Yeah.
I walked through that.
But even though the Germans had been the impetus for the Manhattan Project, their defeat hastened the speed of the bomb's construction even more. The motivation for this was both entirely understandable and extremely human. See, the American people were quite simply done with war. While it was super cool that Hitler was dead. Don't get me wrong. That's fucking
it's
awesome.
cool, guys. I'm just done with this season of war.
I'm done.
I'm done with the show. Can we get a new
Can we
cast?
just wrap this up?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, the American people were being told over and over and over again that it was going to take no less than 1 million lives over the course of a few years to fully defeat Japan because of the tenacity displayed in places like Iwo Jima and Okinawa.
So we're already selling this to the people.
We're selling
Right.
it very, very hard to
It's
the American
really,
people.
I really hope this season's final episode just has a big conclusion and we can just end it.
Just an
Like
explosive,
an
ending.
Yeah, like a Michael Bay like ending.
Well, I mean, and they're selling it at both ends. You know, they're selling it in a way where like they've spent 4 years turning the Japanese into monsters,
Yes.
like absolute fucking demons. But they're also trying to hit it from a humanitarian angle of like, well, if we bomb Japan, then we're actually going to be saving lives.
Well, yeah, what was the thing? It's like, do you
saving
want
Japanese lives.
They said, do you want us to kill Japanese people or do you want American people to die? That is kind of the crux that they put against them.
Yeah. And it was also, do you want us to kill 1 million Japanese people in bombing or do you want us to kill 5 million Japanese people in hand-to-hand combat?
Right.
You know,
let's just get it done. That's the strategy there.
I say we just get them fat.
yeah.
That's what we should have said, cornmeal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Sugar substitutes. Let's talk about that. High glucose.
The real
corn
weapon.
syrup.
The real atomic
really is.
weapon. The hidden sugars in our food.
They are killing us, and there's no reason why we should eat different chocolate than they do in Europe.
No.
There's no reason why all of our candy sucks.
No, it does.
Oh, no.
I'm upset with their sugar.
The European stuff is incredible. But there was also...
Thanks, Chuck fucking Grassley, who's still not dead.
But there was also another human reason to finish work on the bomb, although this one was far less emotional. The Secretary of State put it simply, we spent $2 billion on this goddamn bomb, and Congress is going to want to see a big goddamn boom.
Oh, yeah.
This is like when you show up to Disney World and it's raining and you got tickets and you're like, we're going in.
Yeah.
I spent $2,500. We're going to have fucking fun. Okay, we're going to have
We're
fun.
smiling.
Is
We're
your ice cream
blowing
wet?
shit up.
Your ice cream's wet?
Yeah.
Why don't you eat that ice cream?
Well, to that point, Robert Oppenheimer himself had interestingly come to the belief that the atomic bomb was, in his words, shit. He said that was an exact quote.
Shit.
The atomic bomb is shit because it had no military use beyond creating a very big bang that killed a lot of people all at once.
I mean, shit, maybe if the night before you eat a bunch of Taco Bell.
And here's like how this shithead who wrote the book that's saying that the Hiroshima bombings didn't happen. This is how he used that was another reason why the bombings didn't happen. The man had devoted years of his life and his entire professional reputation to the project. How could he say it was shit? How could he doubt its military value? If he thought super weapons were shit, why sign on the project in the first place? Or if he really believed it was a super weapon that could never be used, surely a brain of his stature would grasp that even if never used, such an object would be of huge military value in the larger strategic sense of intimidation, deterrence, etc. If it would never use, so much better. But we have it directly from arguably the greatest military mind of all time, that it was shit.
All right, and that book written by Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony. I'm happy she's getting into history.
Oh,
it is
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
It is nice.
Man, she's looking thick these days. She's looking, she's out there.
maybe
There's some
she's
pictures of her
stressed.
on Mother's Day. I'm not saying like bad.
There was
things.
pictures of her on Mother's Day?
Oh yeah, there were some pictures of
I
her
thought that
out
was a
there.
day
and
she
she's
could
like,
take off.
Technically, she looks great.
Wow. Oh.
I thought, yeah. What?
It's looking good on her.
Well, really,
Who's the father? No one's ever asked that.
Who's the father?
Who the fuck is Kaylee Anthony's father?
Oh,
We'll have to get into that at some point.
I feel like that
I've
was
never asked
answered.
that question
it
once.
was answered.
It's not
Kinda.
the DJ.
It
Anyway,
wasn't-
I'm sorry. We'll go back.
It was kind of sort of answered. I don't think anyone took a responsibility for it.
Yeah, for
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
a lot. And that's really the whole story, isn't it?
Much like the atomic bomb.
Indeed. Thank you, Henry. We're back at it.
Rise from your grave.
So a lot of people super worried about investing. I understand. Money's fake. And you're like, why can't I just pull all my money out of the bank, turn it into like essentially smelted precious metals, place them up inside of my anal cavity in order to get across the various country lines? I understand you. I'm with you. I'm like you. But things like Acorn showed me it's okay to invest. Give your money a chance to grow with financial wellness app Acorns. Sign up in minutes and start automatically investing your spare money, whether it's a little or it's a lot, especially if it's a little. And the Acorns potential screen will show you the power of compounding and how your money can grow over time. I'm actually not joking here. Investing money as early as you can is super important. I heard early on a piece of advice that said it's not how much you put in the market, it's how long you are in the market for. All right, so go and do it. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Join the over 14 million all-time consumers who have already saved and invested over $27 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/left or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, investment settings. Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/left. Most of us picked a bank at 16 and never looked back. Sound familiar? That's where Chime comes in. They're not like traditional old banks who charge fees and gatekeep perks and rewards. Chime offers the most rewarding, fee-free banking, all with no overdraft fees, no monthly fees, no minimum balance fees. You get 5% cash back on Chime Card in a category of choice, like gas or groceries, all while building credit through regular, everyday spending with no credit check. And you can also grow your money faster with a savings rate that's 9 times the national average. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free with America's #1 choice for banking. Head to chime.com/left. That is chime.com/left. Sign up now. It only takes a few minutes. Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services and Chime Card provided by Chime's bank partners. Qualifying direct deposits required. Terms and limits apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
But really, the only purpose that Robert Oppenheimer saw for the atomic bomb was to put the Russians on notice. But even though it was all but decided that America was going to use the bomb on the Japanese, the biggest debate was whether or not we were going to warn the Japanese before we used it.
Just to be polite.
Well, just because it was weird. They really were like, hey, just so you know, gonna come in there.
Because they also, to that point, then they also kind of did know this is part of the performance. They call war a theater for a reason. And they were like, this is going to be a big message to them, to the world.
Well, most of the Manhattan Project scientists and even some in government thought it was only fair and most of all, humane to warn the Japanese that we were in possession of a weapon of incredible power that we would definitely use if they didn't surrender. But from a military perspective, it was decided that the Japanese would not be informed of a kill shot bomb. Because if we made a big stink about this new weapon and it ended up being a dud, it would weaken our military position worldwide.
It's about our rep.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
But what was most important here was that it was known that the Soviets were also working on an atomic weapon. It was estimated, however, that they were at least 7 years behind America, possibly as many as 10. So dropping the bomb would show the Soviets that while their dick was ragged and raw from years of warfare against the Germans, our dick was rock hard, disturbingly veiny, and massive. Militarily speaking,
I mean, I do have that survey. Our penises are 5.4 inches on average, which is 60th out of the 90 nations that they studied.
This is militarily.
We still beat the British.
This is about mental penises.
I mean, there's a reason all missiles look like big dicks.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because that's how they fly correctly through the air.
Yeah, that's just the best way to fly. If they were to fly best as vaginas, they would be shaped like vaginas.
Man, that would be cool.
We call this one the Brett Favre. It goes slightly to the left.
What do you think Hillary Clinton would have done? Hey, she was president.
Yeah, she would have killed people with the vagina bombs.
So...
That's only fair. Women can kill too.
Yeah.
We put the uranium in this upper area. I don't know what this is. This upper area under this hood, the little bump of uranium.
It's an episode of South Park, actually.
Wow.
Put a bomb in her pussy.
Nice. Well, as such, by June 1st, even before the first atomic bomb test was completed, Truman decided that the atomic bomb would be dropped on Japan, and he would soon take steps to ensure that the Japanese would, quote-unquote, make him do it.
He finished his peas, and then he was like, let me out of this high chair. I've got a decision to make.
Let me out of this cage!
Let me out of here.
Now, when it came to testing the world's first atomic bomb, most accounts make it seem like Trinity was tested right outside of Los Alamos, but the actual site was 240 miles away in New Mexico's Jornada del Muerto Valley.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Death's Passage.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, initially, Oppenheimer set the test for July 4th, 1945.
He loves a moment.
He does. Didn't end up happening that. But when Oppenheimer's brother Frank showed up to help in May, he found hundreds of people furiously setting up an intricate testing site to detonate the bomb, all while the plutonium was en route from Hanford site in Washington state. Now, perhaps to add some levity to a deadly serious endeavor, senior scientists placed bets on how powerful the atomic blast was going to be, because truthfully, none of them had a firm idea of how big the boom was going to be.
Yeah, they did not know. They really did. They tested other versions of it, of like bombs. They tried to build huge bombs and tried to kind of see like, what's the biggest explosion we can make? And they did that. And they're like, okay, so what if that's like 1,000 times like that? And then they try to like conjecture.
Yeah,
because
it's
this
like
also this invented a whole field of explosive radius tests and all this kind of shit.
It's like when you got a really great bit and you're like, this is going to crush, but then you do it and it doesn't work.
Yeah, people get all
because
mad.
you just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Or you do it and it does very, very well. And next thing you know, you're Larry the Cable Guy.
And that's it.
And now you're forced to be this guy who says, get her done all the time.
It's
Even
really
though in
strange.
reality, he was a vegan when he
He
started
never
that
really
character.
He never converted to Larry the Streamer guy.
Nope,
Huh.
nope, he never did.
Interesting.
He never did, but he was a vegan before he created that character.
Oh, I
he created
know.
that character.
It's
and
a
then
fake-
now he eats a bunch of meat.
It's kayfabe, baby.
Wow.
Okay, fab.
Well, one scientist picked the equivalent of 45,000 tons of TNT. Another picked 8,000. Robert Oppenheimer, he went Price is Right style. He said 300.
He didn't say one.
One technician went even further, saying that Trinity was going to be a dud. Fuck you, it's not going to work.
Wow.
You're like, I don't need this shit right now. Can't you see? I'm already rail thin. I've been crying over my communist girlfriend. She's sad. She's such a sad
It's
bitch.
sad. Well, technically, that is the Price is Right. He went dud.
Oh,
so
let's
that's
go
the
low.
one.
Yeah.
He's going low.
But you can't bet zero, though.
You can't bet zero.
You got to bet at least one.
Well, I would say one would be equivalent to a dud.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes.
Now, one would be equivalent to a ton of TNT. That's still quite a large explosion.
Yeah, but not by. But
Not enough.
It's not on the cover of Time magazine.
No.
But when it came to place some bets, Enrico Fermi was apparently in a playful mood that day.
I make a joke.
In full earshot of guards and military personnel who barely knew what was going on, he started saying that he wanted to bet on whether or not the atmosphere itself was going to be ignited by the bomb.
Hey, come on.
And if it did, would it just destroy New Mexico or the entire planet?
And think about it. And how mad is the moon going to be when it cannot shine? It cannot show. Or what is it like to be a pizza pie?
I really wish he didn't dress like Pinocchio during that.
Now, this little anecdote has been twisted over the years to mean that the Manhattan Project scientists didn't know whether or not the Trinity test was going to light the entire world on fire. But that's not true. The calculations have been done long before the Trinity test that showed that this doomsday scenario was effectively impossible. But the fact that they even had to do the calculations in the first place is indeed incredibly frightening.
It's kind of fun to think about.
Now, when it came to who was most frightened by the success of the test, none at the site was more nervous than test leader Ken Bainbridge. He knew that if the bomb didn't go off, or worse, if it hang-fired, it would be his responsibility to drive out to the bomb by himself to see what had gone wrong.
I elect Ken.
All right, guys, who's coming with me?
Let's hand up. Let's hand up. You guys gotta go. Let's hand up. Gotta
Oh,
go.
God damn.
Sorry, Ken.
Now, Oppenheimer, meanwhile, was nervous as well, because after all, this whole thing had been his baby. In the weeks leading up to the test, he'd been reading verses from a Hindu scripture called the Bhagavad Gita, which Oppenheimer had been using since college as a sort of calm-down text.
I've never been able to say that word. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
It's a very important book, though.
Yeah. But once the kinks were worked out with the bomb and it seemed as if all was well, Oppenheimer's demeanor changed. There was a small delay because of weather, but when General Groves asked Oppenheimer if the weather was going to hold out for the Trinity test, Oppenheimer said, quote,
The weather is whimsical.
No, it's not whimsical. The weather is fucking brutal.
It's like rabbits can
Whimsical.
talk. No, it's
No, the
perfect
dust
time.
storms that happen in Texas, whimsical.
I had a little creature told me to go and kiss my girlfriend. It's time.
Oppenheimer.
It's time.
You know, there's going to be a movie about you.
Really? I hope it's a musical.
And so, at dawn on July 16th, 1945, all the top scientists of the Manhattan Project, plus a select group of 10 guests.
Oh.
Yeah, very select
Chuckle
guest
Hut.
list.
The chuckle. I'm just here for the shrimp.
They huddled in trenches that were anywhere between 5 and 20 miles from ground zero. The Trinity bomb, still known as the Gadget, was sitting atop a tower to maximize the blast radius. Then, at 5:25 a.m., the countdown started. All present were told to lie down on the desert sand and turn their faces away while burying their heads in their arms.
Yeah, head down, ass up. Like how you're supposed to take that bomb. Yeah.
Some complied, but most didn't. Some just put on sunscreen.
Did they not have they not read the parable of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Richard Feynman just sat behind a fucking windshield.
That is funny.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's just hanging out. Yeah, I didn't care.
Finally, though, at
Is
5...
just one guy going to light a cigarette on it?
Yeah, it's going to be fun as hell.
It'd be great.
Then he's just a flaming skeleton being like, my calculations were off.
And the cigarette didn't light?
Finally, though, at 5:30 a.m. exactly, the first atomic bomb in history ignited.
Yes. How am I supposed to feel? I was again here just for the shrimp.
A physicist present said that he saw an enormous flash of light, the brightest that he or anyone in history had ever seen. He said that it was a vision that was seen with more than the eye. It seemed to last forever to the point where you wished it would stop. And you know how long that flash lasted? 2 seconds.
This was burned into his brain.
It's pure energy.
Yeah, but it was soon followed by an enormous ball of fire that rolled as it grew up into the air in menacing yellow, scarlet, and green flashes. The physicist said that he felt as if a new thing had been born, a new control which man had acquired over nature.
Meanwhile, one guy's like, where are the hot dogs?
Yeah, where are the hot
Can I
dogs?
eat these? Can I eat these
Are these
shrimps?
fine? Are these still fresh? Nature still wins.
Yeah, nature did win.
I will take nature in general over anything that humans can
Because
create.
within it, radiation is kind of natural. Like I was
Right.
reading about like with the building of polonium and stuff, like all this kind of stuff where like they pulled this stuff out. Like technically that poison, we just kind of released it.
Yeah, then nature's like, thank you. I'm going to add this to the arsenal when we have our next tornadoes that roll through Kansas.
Yes.
Frank Oppenheimer described the cloud as brilliant purple. That was, of course, because it was glowing with radiation. And the thunder from the blast seemed to eternally echo through the canyon where the bomb was detonated. Now, the legend is that upon the detonation of the bomb, Robert Oppenheimer cinematically uttered a chilling line from the Bhagavad Gita. But that's not exactly what happened. Oppenheimer later recalled that when the blast passed, he and the others solemnly walked out of their shelter into a changed world. Some people laughed, some people cried, but most were silent. As for Oppenheimer himself, he said he remembered a line from the Bhagavad Gita, in which the Hindu god Vishnu is trying to persuade a prince that he should do his duty. To make the argument, Vishnu takes on their multi-armed form and utters the line that has become so famous in the decades since. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
It's fucking cool. It's the darkest and fucking most intense a nerd's ever been.
It's cool. It is cool.
But he just thought that.
He just
Okay.
got
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's the same
it's
as saying it.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to
first
like.
step.
I can't wait to be in hospice and doing the thing in my mind, thinking I'm going to say, "Either those drapes go or I do," and then you die. But I know my last words are just going to be like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
oh it hurts, I'm fucking shitting."
No, but you need to be able to change your drapes. It's your room. You pay a lot of money for that room. But please, when the nurse comes in, put your pants on. We've got a lot of complaints, Henry.
You call me David Copperfield.
Well, as Oppenheimer put it, all those present at the Trinity test thought something like the I am become death in one way or
Sure.
another.
It sounds like they did. So yeah.
Heavy situation.
Right.
As far as what he actually said, from what Oppenheimer's brother remembered, Oppenheimer's first words were he just said, "It worked."
It works.
It works.
That's it.
That was good.
However, while Oppenheimer painted himself as a solemn individual contemplating his place in human history, a physicist named Isidore Rabi remembered that when Oppenheimer returned to the Los Alamos lab, he was strutting around like it was the end of high noon.
Yeah,
They
somebody's the big swinging dick in this fucking room. Yep, started his mouth, then it went boom. And who did it? Old Oppie and his big swinging fucking dong. So all y'all, go fuck yourself. I'm going to go read some Marx.
I mean, he did. It would be a moment of pride, I suppose.
As far as who won the bet, though, the blast was actually 4 times larger than what they thought it would be.
Oh, so whoever bet the highest actually also bet the lowest by Price is
won.
Right rules.
That's
they still
right.
won.
Yeah. Trinity turned the desert sand into a light green reflective glass that they ended up calling Trinitite. If you look up a picture of Trinitite, it looks like if scabs were made of boogers.
It's cool looking.
If scabs, what, Marcus? You're
Yeah.
gross.
It's what it looks
It
like.
is.
Scabs were made of boogers.
If scabs
are made out of books.
That is gross.
Well, as far as the damage done goes, Trinity eviscerated jackrabbits 800 yards away, tore the doors loose from a farmhouse 3 miles away, caused temporary blindness 9 miles away, and it caused severe damage to eyeballs 5 miles away. At 1,000 yards, pine boards set up to test destructive power were completely charred. And at even 1,500 yards, exposed surfaces heated almost instantly to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. In other words, the scientists knew exactly what dropping an atomic bomb in the middle of a city was going to do immediately.
It's going to lead to a victory.
As far as how much they knew or how much they allowed themselves to know about what would happen a week, a month, a year, or a decade later, that's a little harder to suss out.
But as Robert Oppenheimer says, it was not his job.
Yep.
That was not his job. His job was to make the bomb and deliver the bomb.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, once the Trinity test was a success, a 15-foot crate containing most of the little boy bomb assembly was loaded onto the ill-fated USS Indianapolis on its way to Tinian Island.
Oh, no. That
my-
is a ghost ship, my friend.
Oh
Get
my
off of that
God. It's like a
boat.
fucking cameo from another series.
Yeah.
It's like when Steve Urkel was on Step by Step.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, for new listeners, you can find the full story of that harrowing tale in our archives as to what happened to the USS Indianapolis after they dropped little bomb off at the island of Tinian. They fucking brought the they brought the fucking uranium in a lead bucket.
Yep.
I guess.
It's just, that's where it goes.
Yeah. Now, on the same day of the Trinity test, Harry Truman was present at another fateful event. He, Churchill, and Stalin were attending the Potsdam Conference to decide what was to be done with Germany now that the war in Europe was over.
Do we tickle them? Should we just tickle her feet?
I was thinking about, I just want to take pictures of all their feet, obviously, first
Yeah,
of all.
of course.
And then I
obviously.
want to see, honestly, I want to see him pull taffy.
Better idea. Why don't we just give them bunches and bunches of money so they can kind of rebuild?
I think we're going to have to.
Perfect.
Yeah. It was called the Marshall Plan.
What a way to punish somebody for trying to take over the world.
Well, actually, if you want to know more about all that, our next series in No Dogs in Space is going to go way into what happened to Germany after the war and the Marshall Plan and all that shit and how it essentially created electronic
We're
music.
just going to eventually completely cover every decade, aren't we? We're just going to eventually grow.
The network as a whole. By the time we're done with this shit, we will have covered the entirety of human history.
Yeah, I think so.
At the very least, we'll have covered the entirety of the 20th century. But for the purposes of this story, Potsdam was also a meeting to decide how the Allies were going to finish off Japan. Now, by this point in the war, Japan was standing alone. Italy had long since been finished off, and Hitler's corpse was either ashes in a ditch or secreted away to some Soviet meat locker.
Certainly not in Uruguay.
Argentina.
But either way, Japan had no allies. And to put it simply, everyone around them, they were pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I think everyone's frustrated.
Mad.
China was a little miffed about the whole rape of Nanking thing.
I'd
and
be.
everything that went along with it. Korea hadn't been too happy about all that enslavement business.
Hey, that's some of the worst business you can get involved
It
in
is
outside of the
horrible.
restaurant business. Extremely
Well,
vulnerable.
oftentimes they go hand in hand.
Russia was ready to invade along with America, and since Japan had been the aggressors in this war, they had no moral standing internationally. No one was helping out Japan. That's not to mention the fact that Japan's Navy and Air Force was relatively non-existent. And even if they did have ships and planes, they didn't have any oil or gas to put in the ships and planes.
You're going to want that.
And that's also not to mention the fact that the actual people of Japan were rapidly starving to death.
Now, this may sound like an extremely insensitive thing to say, but
Why you pointed at me?
perfect for an atomic bomb because they can't defend themselves. So it's like that is the most brutal, fucked up way you can look at it. Where like not only do we get to flex to the world what we can do and what we've created, but also they can't fuck it up on our way to go do it.
No.
They're sitting there waiting for it. It does. You've been playing a lot of Civ 6.
Oh, yeah.
When you finally get to the atomic era in Civ 6, and you really do, because then that's what I do. I save it. I always kind of I've destroyed a bunch of other countries around me.
Sure.
And I always kind of know that there's a smaller country that I need to go wipe out of my way to a domination victory.
Yeah.
And by that point, I'm leagues ahead of them. Like it kind of varies. And then you really like, and I feel myself. I remember getting a little snack and I re-pour my drink. I put the atomic weapon on the plane. I fly it over.
It's really fun.
like
Really
a fun
classy.
afternoon, you know?
Yeah,
really.
It's really fun. What I like to do is play Civ 6 as the Japanese and then have them drop the atomic bomb.
Oh, yeah. It's much better to do it. Like, it's fun to change things.
Yeah, it is.
It was a very racist policy.
Oh, yeah. It's not good.
It's very
It's
racist.
awful.
It's
fucking
awful.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst crimes of humankind.
Additionally, contrary to popular belief, Secretary of War Henry Stimson knew that Japan was not a country of mad fanatics willing to fight to the last man, woman, and child. He openly said that they were an extremely intelligent people whose transition from an isolated country to a world power in just a few decades had been astonishing, even if that transition had been at times horrifically bloody and brutal. Therefore, Stimson concluded that when it came to surrender terms, America should first warn Japan that a horrific bomb attack worse than even the firebombing of Tokyo was in the cards if they chose not to surrender. But if they did surrender, Stimson suggested very strongly that they should be given the option of keeping a constitutional monarchy, much like England.
Now, this was going to be an issue, especially with
sticking
Harry S.
point.
Truman. Yes.
Now, this was the basic equivalent of an unconditional surrender, because at the end of the day, who really gives a shit if the emperor is quote unquote in charge? Does it really fucking matter if Queen Elizabeth is in charge or if King Charles is in charge? Nothing changed.
No,
Does
the
to
only
them.
person I want is the Charles in charge from television.
Scott Baio, controversial figure.
Controversial figure.
Problematic man.
I
Very
don't know enough
problematic
about
man.
him. I haven't thought about him in a long time.
But in the end, it's really all symbolic. And that went double for the Japanese. Therefore, it shouldn't have been a problem to keep a constitutional monarchy. It shouldn't have mattered. And the Soviet Union was ready to mediate a deal between the Japanese and the Americans.
You know things are bad when the Soviets are like, let's calm down, guys.
Let's all
Come
think
on,
about
the
this.
rational
Let's-
voice here.
Yeah, and there were people within the Japanese government that were absolutely ready to go. The emperor was ready to go. But as I said earlier, Truman and the rest of his future Cold Warriors wanted to force Japan's hand, and they knew just how to do it. They played harshly on the Japanese concept of honor by demanding a completely unconditional surrender, basically telling the Japanese to sniff our butts and like it.
Sometimes you do, but most of the times you don't. And these guys, because he
I
really
mean,
did.
ironically enough, I think that's the #1 game show in Japan right now. Sniff our butts and like it. They have a thing. They have a funny
they do like
relationship
butts.
with butts.
They do like
And
butts.
I love
Yeah.
butts.
And they
so-
love sniffing.
they love to sniff. I know.
There's a lot of Japanese game shows, clips that I've seen that have a lot to do with smell.
A lot of smells.
Yeah.
But
And
these
they
guys,
wouldn't have those shows without us.
Oh yeah, thankfully. That's the one good thing about the atomic bomb. But he said that basically, maybe I might be wrong, but I feel like Truman was trying to say part of this unconditional surrender is that your people have to vote for a new leadership. That basically we're getting rid of the
They're
imperial
spreading
family.
freedom, democracy.
Quote, unquote, yes, which is again the beginnings of this idea of we're going to go and just replace your government as something, even if it hurts you, as long as it's pro us. That's kind of what we get to do because we made the atomic bomb.
Well, at the very base level of it, like what they did, the Japanese could not stand, what they couldn't say yes to was an unconditional surrender. They
Yes.
needed something.
They needed something.
They
Gotta
needed
give me
like
something.
They needed a shred of something to retain, like a shred
Dignity.
of honor,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit of dignity that they need. And Truman knew.
No, he
that
wanted to push him.
Yeah, he knew that if like we give an unconditional surrender, they're gonna say no matter what.
They wanted to drop the bomb.
They wanted to drop.
So
They
that's
wanted to
all
drop
that
the
it was.
bomb,
Yes.
and they knew this is how they did it.
Yes.
This is how they could
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
what you said. They made him make him do it.
Yeah, and the declaration said the alternative to surrender was prompt and utter destruction, but they did not say what prompt and utter destruction meant.
Yeah, is that like figuratively, like you're going to read me to filth? Like, are you going to want to star my podcast till it drops? Or-
That's horrible to do that.
Now, the Japanese rejected the terms of complete unconditional surrender just like everyone knew they would. And the American government therefore pretended like they didn't have any other choice but to drop the bomb.
You've tied my hands.
Yep, it's like when you sign up for fucking EA, man. You know, goddamn,
I mean,
get
love
into it.
Sirius XM, but they've been calling me and fucking calling.
Have they really?
They
Oh,
call
yeah,
me
they just
so much.
call.
They call
Sirius
all the
XM
time.
does?
Call
Yeah.
all the time.
It's very similar.
It's weird.
As the Americans put it, they were actually saving Japanese lives because the military were training every able-bodied person on the mainland to fight with sharpened bamboo sticks to the death if an American land invasion came.
And this is where we inspired them to do a Toyotathon. The idea is that we just say, you know what I mean, you expand the prices right before, but then you cut them right before, and you see you're saving.
Very good.
And the thing is, they were training the people to do this, but it was more propaganda. It was more morale. There are videos of, a bunch of women and children with these sharpened bamboo sticks going through the motions.
It's comical.
Yeah, and it's all shot in Los Angeles.
Yes, it is very real. But given the U.S. artillery,
They were defending
it was
themselves.
Not, it was not comparable.
I mean, I'm willing to bet that while some would have fought, but let's also not pretend like the Japanese are the good guys here.
No, they did fucked up shit. Everybody,
The Japanese did some really fucking
It's World War II.
It's World War
shit.
II.
Yeah.
It's World War II. No one
Yeah.
got out clean.
Yeah.
No one.
But at the end of the day, I'm willing to bet that while some of these people on the Japanese mainland would have fought to the death, it probably would have been closer to what the Germans got when they called up the Volkssturm, the People's Militia. A few people are going to show up, but not a lot.
No, it's
And
gonna be old people and children,
Yeah.
and it's like it's actually really fucked up for then our soldiers to go and shoot all of these people. None of them are
With any
trained.
luck, you'll find a wife and a family.
Well, it's certainly not enough to justify the horror show that was to come.
No.
But through propaganda and self-justification, America gave the go-ahead to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. Now, the Air Force knew that the Manhattan Project wasn't going to be a secret after the bomb was dropped. So, So General Groves actually invited photographers and journalists to the island of Tinian to record the takeoff for posterity. The guys boarding the Enola Gay felt like celebrities. Flashbulbs are going off. They're saluting. They're smiling.
Because they're literally saying it's like this thing of aren't we all happy what we've all figured out? This
great.
bomb, because they all knew everything was going to be different the second the bomb
Of
goes
course.
And so, after making their way through a crowd of reporters and photographers, the bomb crew boarded the Enola Gay, which had been named after the pilot's mother. Her name was Enola Gay.
I would thank you for clarifying.
Her
Her
name
name
was
was
Enola
Enola.
Gay.
And gay was the bar she went to.
There you go.
Along with the crew, though, were 3 scientists who had the task of assembling the last bits of the bomb on the way to Hiroshima because they didn't want to assemble the thing on the island.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's big, explodes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the only people on board who knew they were dropping an atomic bomb were the pilot and the 3 technicians. In fact, one of the technicians had a handgun in case of capture, so he and the others could check themselves out to keep the Manhattan Project secrets out of enemy hands.
I mean,
would
that's why
definitely-
I fly with a gun every single time just in case.
He does. He does. And and they'd be surprised. They'll thank you. They're
Yeah,
thank
it's
you for
weird.
doing this.
Yeah.
See, I would have done with my fingers crossed. I'd be yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Yep.
And so, at 3 a.m., 2 of the nuclear technicians radioed Tinian Tower and said, "Judge going to work." That signaled that the assembly of the bomb was underway in the bomb bay, thousands of feet above the Pacific Ocean. It took 11 steps to assemble the bomb, but as one technician put it, only a suicidal maniac would have made the assembly dangerous. That being said, that same technician was indeed handling explosive gunpowder right next to a nuclear weapon.
Well,
It
if
was
you can
just
survive,
made. Because you remember, this bomb's brand new.
Yeah.
So they are just assembling it all together for the very first time on its way to go drop it.
and if you can get through that with your partner, maybe you guys have a chance.
You can just even
Maybe
honestly,
you have a chance.
Natalie and I were talking. We went through a dip, and we were like, how do we come together?
Get
And
IKEA furniture.
what we did was that we just put together this a sample atomic bomb in our home.
Yeah.
And it's really, honestly, it's incredible, the bonding.
rough patch over.
Rough patch over,
Done.
and our neighbors are afraid.
That's great because
And
now
we've just been fucking right on their front lawns.
Well, that's
and just
good.
showing them, because I was like, you could
The
sniff
power of
my
the
butt
bomb.
and you can like it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, by 6 a.m., the Enola Gay flew over Iwo Jima and was joined from that airfield by 2 more aircraft who are working as observation and instrument readers.
Just mean their calculations.
An hour and a half later, Little Boy was armed. Tibbets climbed to bomb altitude and leveled off at 32,700 feet, going only by sight because none of them were allowed to bring maps. Once at bombing height, the technician told Tibbets that the bomb was in order, and 5 minutes later, Hiroshima came into sight. At 9:15 a.m., the bomb bay doors opened and Little Boy dropped. And as Tibbets bolted the Enola Gay upward, he had one thought. Now it is in the lap of the gods.
Well,
And that's where we'll pick back up.
Whoa, okay.
For part 5 of our series on the Manhattan Project.
Wow. Well, God, if he was out there, could have grabbed it.
Not Chicago night.
All right.
You can really, man. Woo, it is just a fucking, I can't believe we're here. Next week, we're going to get to the day of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, what kind of happened afterwards. And we're going to put we're shipping out.
Yeah.
This is the end of the Manhattan Project next week. I can't believe how far we come.
Maybe the end.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, you know what?
We're just gonna have to see because
Marcus, I can't.
He wants to get into shovels.
I've just been reading so much.
Because now after the bomb, then they're going to have to shovel.
But that's the
I
thing,
know.
Henry. Now you can move on from the bomb itself. Oppenheimer's done, man. He's out of the picture. His story's over with. Now you can get to the sloughing.
I know.
Now you can be.
I think we can just end it after that.
Sloughing magazine is so hard to find.
Well, I mean, and
now
the
you
way
can
they take pictures of those sloths without their consent.
Now you can get to the big dripping black dog that the kids thought was a dog, but it was really their mom.
I
now
know.
you can
Wait.
get to the people melting as they were falling into the river. Now you can get into the goopy river.
Finally, for my pool reading.
You can get into what is quite possibly the most horrific week that mankind has ever witnessed. It's gonna get fucking rough, people.
Hey, man, were you there when James Corden got his show?
That was almost as bad.
We'll talk about a bomb.
Talk about a fat boy.
Guys,
Was it Long Boy?
check me out.
Fat kid?
It's Fat Man
and Little Boy. He's
Yeah.
another one who has the same little boy legs, Fat Man top.
You imagine that's the thing. If you're a little overweight, you cannot be rude to wait staff.
You really can't.
You really
be.
cannot be.
Especially
You
not
Even
about
if you're
eggs.
skinny, but especially.
I want to make a little bit of an announcement. I am going to be doing a live show. I believe I'm allowed to announce this. I'm doing it anyway because they haven't, but it's coming up. Dad's Garage in Atlanta. I will be there July 7th through the 9th. I will be headlining, doing some improv shit. Come check it out. Go just ask them where the fucking tickets are. I'm going to put up a link on my socials very soon. I'm very excited to do those shows. I know Kissel's going out and he's going to go and
Well, I'm
show and heal
selling
yourself.
tickets now, so
You're
I've got to
selling
go
these
do
goddamn
this.
tickets.
So
you sell the fucking tickets.
July 9th in San Diego, July 16th in San Francisco, July 23rd in Las Vegas for my birthday weekend, which I don't usually celebrate, but perhaps I will then.
You're in Vegas.
And then July 30th, Ontario, California.
Yeah, we can't wait, man. Can't wait to do some bullshit.
Come on out.
And
then we're going to be doing, and then Henry and I are going to be going to do something as well.
Yeah, we got
that we will
shit.
tell you about in the future.
We got to get that going. We're going to get that going. But guys, wow, good work.
Oh, thank you.
Great job, Marcus.
Same for all.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Aggie.
More constellations.
Hail me.
Never drop another bomb. No need to drop another bomb.
No,
Don't drop a bomb.
No, man. Instead of dropping bombs, you need to drop sandwiches. You need to drop love. You need to drop hugs.
Oh, drop hugs.
would be
I like
good.
that.
Hug patrols coming through.
It's the worst. It's always just
They were
drop.
going to bomb you, but instead we've come to hug.
No.
Just pop me.
Drop some turds. Stay regular.
Yeah,
Oh,
take a shit instead.
that's a good call.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
Nature can hide dark secrets. It's my job to unearth them. My name is Anna Pigeon.
This Friday,
I'm a law enforcement ranger. I need you to put your hands on the ground.
don't miss USA's newest drama series
If you even touch one hair on the park's head, I'll stop you.
based on the best-selling books. For Anna, solving crime is second nature.
I'm not letting him get away with this.
Why do you care so much, Anna?
Someone has to.
Anna Pigeon premieres this Friday at 10 on USA Network.
Ever walk past a place for rent and wish you could just take a peek inside? Maybe even explore the layout. Envision the natural light streaming through the windows. Or plan where your vinyl record collection would go. At Apartments.com, you can. With tools like their 3D virtual tours, you can see the exact unit you could be living in. Really envision yourself in your new home with Apartments.com. The place to find a place.